Got a few others, but it's not the Azir. That is Easy Hoon. And the Nautilus to be locked in as well.
And then we see the Kai'Sa, so the Varus now going into that mid lane.
The classic counter pick, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense against the Azir. I mean, I have to assume they were prepared for that, right? Like you said, letting the Azir through. After banning the LeBlanc, they clearly had their focus. So what's clear to me is HANWHA Life did have a plan. It's not that it seemed random or that they weren't doing the research, but like you said, Atlas, at the end of the day, it's T1, and you're giving so much power into the late game. So if you're not shutting them down early, like very early, I mean, this combination of Teddy on Ezreal, Faker on Azir, and the Ornn coming in for Kana, that seems really risky.
Yeah, this is basically full comfort for T1. HANWHA can do. I think if I was LS, who likes to do the predictions after the draft, I'd give this like an 80% T1, even if the nameplates were off, which is very scary for HANWHA Life.
I think that's fair. Just like you said, just looking at the draft itself, again, it's not looking too promising for HANWHA. And I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, I mean, we keep talking about, okay, well, they need to get this early lead. They need to have a good, power spike going into the mid game for HANWHA to even have a chance to win this game. But, I mean, where are you realistically going to get this when we're looking at the picks plus the players that are playing them, right?
So, not too bad. Cuvee struggling here towards the top side as he's made brittle. If that had been an auto attack group, that would have been very close to kind of being able to just really put the screws in as he throws down the ultimate, looks for this solo kill on the counter. There's the flash forward. The bellows breath comes out, but Cuvee eventually gets searing charged to death, and Haru now finds his way in, will get the trade kill, but that solo still fantastic for Kana.
Yeah, that was, I mean, just really good decision making. I think Cuvee maybe got a little bit too comfortable, just assuming, oh, we're both tanks, like he's not going to make a dive. But again, it's Ornn, who's not only very tanky, but has that longer range initiation that he can get. And now that opens up Elim to be able to start this dragon, and the first dragon will be going over to T1.
Yep, I absolutely love this. T1 always been fantastic at following up with advantages that they get elsewhere on the map. So they see Haru and they just take everything that they have available to them with that extra information. And now Emperor's Divide in the mid lane, Tempt in trouble. He can't get to the lantern eventually. Able to walk on over there, but that is a lot of pressure now down. And the heal is on cooldown as well. As there's the Ragnarok that has been popped. Lehen's able to get himself out of the way. There's a flash out as Haru makes his way in. But there's the Chains of Corruption. Effort has to flash in order to get out of there. Great hook from Lehen's. But he is going to suffer the trade kill as Elim wants to try and offer more. But Haru's health bar just a little bit too high. And in the end, it is an even trade.
Yeah, it turns out even, but now you've given, obviously, a kill to Faker, got that stack now going for his items, and both kills going over to Haru just seems like it's more of just a pity payback, right, in favor of HANWHA. They're not really able to get what we talked about in making sure that their laners are building into this mid game, and they're just kind of making sure they're not completely falling apart. That was very close. I don't know if it would have killed just because of the number.
So no worries there for Faker.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see a little bit of not true panic. Oh, we're gonna see another gank in top lane though.
Yep, there's the Ornn has been blown as we have the Ragnarok, and that's a very dead Cuvee. The twisted advance into the death chamber. Not what you want to see from your Maokai.
You can't, because, alright, already starting off, I mean, the Ornn's just stronger, right? Maokai, Maokai's a tank that no longer really feels like a tank, to be honest. He's really just a CC machine compared to a lot of these other champions that have come out and really able to withstand any of the pressure that comes through. And on top of that, you gave up that solo kill early. And Ornn obviously has a little bit more flexibility in his timings to go back. And then you have the Olaf coming in. Cuvee really can't do much. And like you said, Atlas, what is even more unfortunate is at the end of the day, Kana's going to continue deciding what the pace of that top lane is. So Cuvee is now torn in that weird decision of, how do I try to soak this XP when Kana's not an inexperienced player?
Yeah, and Kana's going to be able to grab. He looks brittle enough regardless, to be perfectly honest. And it's not a good place to be. Second Drake thinking about being started up here by T1, and I don't know what Haru and HANWHA Life are going to be able to do to stop this here. Is Haru at least able to clear out some of the vision? But with 4 members of T1 hanging around in this area, it can be difficult, as there's the Cataclysm, but Haru does have to get himself out of there. I like the way he utilized that, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him alive unless he gets himself the Lantern. Exactly right, keeps him alive. I feel like HANWHA should have had mid priority throughout this game, but Fake has even been able to get into that river to continue adding more pressure. And with the tank of T1 being so much stronger and having that teleport threatened this whole time, it just feels like HANWHA are automatically playing on the back foot, and it's to do with the top lane, which is not something that we often talk about in League of Legends, especially with that top lane island situation.
Continues at this rate, right? Throughout this whole second round, it's going to be a very, very scary form. Now, we're seeing HANWHA a little bit more aggressive. They do get onto Faker, but...
Yeah, good cleanse. And there's the HANWHA trying to pull one back. And yes, Emperor's Divide will get Haru, but Cataclysm gets himself out, flag and drag to full safety. And LM can't get himself into a good enough position. Kai'Sa lands as a Void Seeker, but the Killer Instinct not going to be utilized. And T1 trying to escape. Vista does find a bit of a Q onto the opponent. Ooh. Good hook attempt there from Lahens. Actually predicting the dredge line, but
hands. Just comfortably throwing axes everywhere.
And like with his Brolaf skin, it's actually cans of beer, and he's like just spraying cans of beer everywhere. Oh, that would be brilliant. There are so many fun options. We should have a chat to Riot about this. Right. I'll send in the email after the game, don't you worry.
There you go. Well, HANWHA, in the meantime, they've been better at the whole Vision game since their early losses a little bit. I don't know if kicking off this Drake is the right call, though, despite the Vision. I guess they decided that Teddy was a little behind, but there's a teleport.
Yep, teleport from Canna coming in first, but Cubate immediately going to match it. Chains of Corruption do come down. It slows down Elam, but he holds on to the ultimate for a very long time. Finally does press that button, but Canna soaking up all of this attention in the front line. He's going down very low. Good knock up, but he will have to get out, but he can't. The hook is going to land, and he goes down extremely low. Vista trying to take him down, but he's unable to. He survives for so damn long, and Vista's going to bite the dust. A 3-0 in favor of T1.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe Kana lived through all that. He literally he ults towards the jungle, knocks up 2, and then he just starts W keying towards everyone and just doesn't stop. And then Vista comes in for the kill. Quite frankly, even if Vista got that kill, would it have really changed the result of anything? Probably not. T1 would have still been able to regroup. They would have gotten the Drake. HANWHA would have had to back off. But going for that... If Vista was able to get his Q off right away, as we see another good initiate onto Lahens.
Yeah, Lahens is dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
Sorry, but I should have let you do that one. That just didn't last long enough. My contribution as a play-by-play was, he's dead.
I mean, you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong, so you're still doing your reason that HANWHA's like still keeping up and staying alive, but that ship has long sailed as well. And honestly, I don't think there's any way to talk around it. T1 is just going to be...
Until the potential Infernal Soul as well, and that feels like the last nail in the coffin for this particular game. And the revenge of T1 against the HANWHA Life that were able to steal away the first loss of T1. If we're looking at the stats, I mean, it really is a blemish on the record of this squad. They did not want that there. It's sitting there as their second game of the season. And it's just not what you want to see. It's a huge engage. The Varus just dies basically as an afterthought, as now Haru trying to run away. Vista, a Void Seeker, is going to find the targets that he wants, but he's not going to be able to fight them. He has absolutely no right to do so, and T1 will continue shoving forward. Shirley is going to pick up a charge on the inhibitor, and might even start charging these Nexus turrets as well. She's down to 85 health, but can HANWHA Life even get to her? They can't. Shirley, what are you... This is like the most MVP Rift Herald performance I have ever seen. That was like, what, 3, 4 charges? Amazing stuff.
Every single structure, in fact. You're right. That's 4 charges. T1 recruiting that Scuttle Crab, and now Shirley over to their team in this game against HANWHA. And that's what we said. I mean, this was...
any juice out of this HANWHA Life squad right now. I completely feel your pain. Don't you worry. As Lahens is dead, guys. He's real dead. He's going to flash. He has the box. Not going to get knocked up by the Searing Charge, but Canna really wants to kill him, and he's going to.
Now, I don't know if that was entirely worth it, because they just lost Yornal.
Killer Instinct. Yeah, Teddy's just going to die. So that's a great trade for HANWHA in the end, but the Brambles aren't going to do enough here, as Cubate does dodge the knockup, but it's not going to quite be enough as effort right into the back line. There's the Emperor's Divide as Temp gets flashed after by Elim, able to get that reckless swing, lock down the kill, and T1 are avenging their fallen 80 carry with a triple kill for LM and the end of the game now for T1.
Yeah, that'll be it. Obviously, thanks to Shirley's MVP plays in that mid lane. The lane is wide open, just one. Oh, and the teleport coming as well, just to make sure that they have every single minion available to get rid of this Nexus, not taking any chances against HANWHA. And that's going to be the
Absolutely not. It's reminding me of the Avatar movie with the gigantic bulldozers. That's exactly what the Rift Herald was this game. T1 just walking past all of the debris and moving towards a victory here in game number 1. 24 minutes